Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come on and give you guys an update on what's been happening with my pregnancy. I know it's been since week 4 that I gave you an update, but I'm going through a lot. I'm putting it off because I'm always doing something or sleep. So I want to give y'all an update while I do something else. And what I'm gonna do is do my exfoliating peel, and I'm gonna do a facial, so I'm gonna look kind of crazy during the process, but I'm gonna give you guys a good rundown of what's been going on, and y'all about to be in for it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and give you guys a little bit of what's been going on. When basically I have had multiple emergency room visits, and you might think that sounds normal, because sometimes when you're pregnant for the first time, you don't know what's going on, so you automatically just go to the emergency room. But for me, every time I've gone to the emergency room, it's been something going on. So like, it's not been just, oh, it was Braxton Hicks, or it was just round ligament pain. I had some amazing midwives who I don't want to waste nothing. I had some amazing midwives who made sure that when I needed to go to the ER, I went, and when I didn't need to go, I didn't go. So that was a plus. And I'm gonna give you guys an update on what's been going on with my providers and what kind of care I've been receiving as well, because that's gonna be a shocker. I gotta set my timer. Let me set my timer. Where's my, oh. All right, so I have this old iPhone. It come in handy, and this is what I will be having during my delivery. I'm gonna have this little iPhone with my hypno babies on it. And I'll probably be taking pictures and stuff with my fancy iPhone. Boop, 10 minutes set. I'm gonna first start off with an update on like a few things that have been happening after week 4, of course. So I wasn't gaining much weight because I went on a cruise, and that's where I conceived. I conceived on a cruise. And of course, on a cruise, you just eat everything, you don't care. And plus, I got married. Our wedding was in September, and of course, you know, newlywed, we went on a cruise then too. I had gained a few pounds, and I wasn't worried about them because, you know, we all lovey-dovey and all this stuff. So I wasn't worried about losing weight. I had gained some weight. I had gained probably like 15 pounds. So throughout from September to January, I had gained about 15 pounds. And then on the cruise, I gained another 15 pounds. So I just didn't care. And after I gained that weight, I basically wasn't really losing or gaining for the first few weeks after we got back from the cruise. But then I found out I was pregnant like a week after we got back. I mean, after we got back home, because when we got from the cruise, we actually stayed in Florida a little bit longer. And then I started to lose weight. When I found out I was pregnant, I started to lose weight. So I lost the weight that I gained on the cruise. I lost that weight, and then I was still like stuck at my weight that I was before the cruise. So, well, the first cruise.
So, don't mind me being out of breath. That's the part of being pregnant. I'm out of breath all the time. I'm just like, oh my God, like, what's going on?
Anyway, so I've been at, you know, a steady weight for the first 6 months. I was at a steady weight. I was like below 200 pounds. When I lost weight back in college, I was over 200 pounds. So this is abnormal for me, but of course the weight distribution is different now because I'm just like all belly. I'll probably insert some pictures so you guys can see. So I pretty much had an aversion to smells. The first part of my pregnancy, not the first full trimester, but the first few weeks, it was just like I could smell stuff that nobody else could smell, and it was just crazy. I didn't have any cravings around the 5th week, no cravings. I was cramping a lot. Like, I would cramp for like a whole week. It wasn't alarming to me because I kind of knew, you know, my uterus is getting in position and stretching, blah, 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 all that stuff. Around week 6, I was still having, like aversions to smell, and I was craving sour cream. Like, I was eating sour cream on like bread, toast with jelly, dipping it in sour cream. It was crazy. Just sour cream, and I was just like, yeah, sour cream. I was eating a lot of it. A lot of sour cream. And then around week 7, I had an aversion to water. I didn't realize it until my midwives told me that, like, they brought it up because I was dehydrated when I went to my appointment. They were like, you're dehydrated, you need to drink water. And I'm like, I'm drinking water, but I wasn't drinking enough water. And I realized that I wasn't drinking enough water because I didn't like room temperature water anymore. Like, you know, they say you bougie if you drink room temperature water, but that was just how I drank my water, room temperature. And then all of a sudden it hit me like, I don't like room temperature water. They were like, you need to get you a cup that you like. You need to get you that temperature of water that you like, and you need to figure this out because you don't need to go into preterm labor due to dehydration. I was like, okay, and I still was tripping. But okay, I just wasted a whole cup of water. This is the cup that I drink out of. I've been drinking out of this cup since for like 3, 4, maybe 4 months. Like, this is the only cup that I like to drink out of. I will drink bottled water, but it has to be cold, right? So that was week 7. I found out that I had an aversion to water, and I also cried one day. I'll tell y'all the Chick-fil-A story. I cried at Chick-fil-A one day. I'm gonna have to tell y'all that another time. That was funny. I didn't want to get ultrasounds. Like, if I could have gone this whole entire pregnancy without getting an ultrasound, I would have. But I have fibroids, and I told my midwives, hey, I have fibroids. So they wanted to, when they did my dating scan, they wanted to check on the fibroids and see, you know, where they were, in regards to where the baby was nestling, or whatever you want to call it. So I had a few of them. I think they say there were 6 fibroids, intrauterine fibroids. And I was like, okay, fibroids, you know, she said they're not in the areas where it could hinder the baby's growth or anything like that. So that was week 7. Week 8, my weight was still fluctuating, and I could not fit any of my church clothes. So I was like trying to figure out, like, what am I gonna wear? I stopped wearing underwear. I do not like underwear. They don't feel right because my abdomen is just so big right now, or even then it was just uncomfortable. So I stopped wearing underwear. I wear dresses everywhere. The weather has, you know, warmed up, so I can wear dresses all the time, so I don't have to worry about none of that.
As far as, like, you know, wearing jeans without underwear, I would never do that. That's weird. It doesn't sound like it's comfortable.
I had an emergency room visit at 9 weeks. Was that 9 weeks? So at 9 weeks, I had an incident happen where I thought I was constipated. Like, I dealt with constipation a lot at the beginning, and it was because I wasn't eating what I was supposed to eat, and I wasn't drinking enough water, like, to flush everything out. But I haven't had an issue with that in a long time. But at 9 weeks, I had an issue with that. So I made this assumption that that the bulge that I was feeling on my left side
was poop. Like, don't judge me. I was like, maybe I'm backed up, you know, maybe it's so backed up I got a bulge in here.
And so I was like massaging it, trying to get it to move, and I ended up going to the ER because the next day it hurt so bad. I was just like, why is this hurting so bad? Like I had drank magnesium citrate to try to go. I was going, but oh, it's been 10 minutes. Anyway, where was I?
It's not like y'all can remind me of what I was talking about.
Oh, I know. So my midwife, when I told her what I was going through, she helped me for like the first day. She was like, you know, giving me remedies like, hey, you can do this if you want to go the natural route, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I tried the natural things to help me go. Had the magnesium citrate. And she was like, we don't want to do too much to cause you to start having contractions. Like if you take too many, or if you keep irritating your gastrointestinal tract, like it can cause you to have contractions. So she was like, we don't want to do too much with this, and if it's not working, we need to figure out what's going on. So she had me go get an ultrasound. They checked on the baby because she's always like, if you think something's wrong or if you worried, I want to ease your worries and you know, see if the baby's okay. So the baby was fine. I got an ultrasound that same day, which I love that she was able to just like call them like, hey, I need an ultrasound done. Boom, put me in there, give me the ultrasound. They checked the fibroids. Fibroids are still the same size that they were at week 6. And they couldn't find anything. So she checked me out that day. Like she actually saw me and was like, okay, if it's this tender, because she touched it and she was like, if it's this tender, we need to get this checked out. So ended up, I'm gonna look crazy. Ended up going to the ER because she was just like, just head in to urgent care or the ER. Urgent care did not have any they didn't have any ultrasound equipment to check. All they had was an x-ray machine.
So we're not x-raying babies. We're not x-raying uteruses or pregnant bodies. That's not what we're doing. So
they was like, you can go to the ER. Went to the ER, and y'all, they did an ultrasound on all of my organs in my abdomen, all of them, like my liver, everything. You know what they told me? They found
lobulated fibroids.
what are fibroid fibroids?
Let me set my timer really quick. "45 minutes. Okay.
So lobulated fibroids are basically fibroids that are attached to your uterus, and they're attached like by a tendon or something, and they're just in there, just floating around. So I was told that I have those
That are attached to my uterus, and that's what I was pushing on. Don't judge me. Do not judge me. So fibroid, and it was big enough where I could feel it and I could see it while I was laying down. I wasn't so far along where I had a big stomach, so you could like see it when I was laying down. And she said that there were more on the other side, but they didn't have such a, you know, blood flow as that one that was visible. It was insane. So my midwives, throughout the process, my midwives kept up with it. They kept measuring it to see, you know, if it grew or anything. And for the next 3 months, nothing changed. Like, it was the same size. Everything was going fine. Had no problems with it. Everything was good. So that was at 9 weeks. Then at 19 weeks, I went back to the ER because I was having this cramping sensation. And I was just like, my midwife was like, okay, we don't know what this is. Like, you should not be cramping, blah, blah, blah.
I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
So she was basically like, just go in and, you know, let them see what's up. I was dehydrated. And I'm like, bro, I'm drinking all this water. How am I dehydrated? Like, I wasn't drinking enough. So dehydrated to the point where they had to put a drip in my arm. Oh my God, I was freaking out. So I'm dehydrated. I have a UTI, and that's what happened at 9 weeks too. I had to take antibiotics a total of 3 times during my pregnancy, and that bothered me mentally because I know how important gut flora is to your baby. Like, I know that, so it bothered me. So I was just like,
okay, I can't be on these drips. I can't be out here preaching, you know, be hydrated, because Black women are, you know, we have the highest rate of preterm labor in regards to dehydration. And I'm out here talking about this, and I'm dehydrated.
So I think I'm drinking enough. After that appointment, after that ER visit, I was like, okay, I gotta get a schedule going on. I gotta drink that 24-ounce cup I showed y'all. I gotta drink
3 to 4 these a day. Like, I was like on the schedule. I was like, so I gotta drink 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. But I wasn't playing. I was like, no, I cannot have this baby early from no dehydration. Like, this not finna happen.
So that's when I really started to get that water thing going. I was like,
put that jug in the freezer, please. Ain't no room temperature water. We need cold water.
So that was what happened in 19 weeks. Now 21 weeks was insane, y'all. It was crazy. So as y'all know, I live in Colorado. That means we're at a higher elevation. Higher elevation means less oxygen, and your body produces more blood because you have less oxygen. But being pregnant, my body produces more blood because I have a baby. So I was supposed to go on a trip to Florida. I was supposed to go have my baby shower in Florida and then come back, you know, blase. Ended up, somebody called me.
Scam likely.
Okay, anyway.
I don't even know what I was talking about. See? This brain.
Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about.
I had also just had my anatomy scan, and everything was fine until I stood up from that anatomy scan. When I stood up to leave, I was uncomfortable. I had a lot of discomfort, and I used the bathroom, and I was just like, maybe this is, you know, they were pushing so hard. Maybe that's just what happens. Okay, cool. Got to the car. I felt the pain again. It was just like a lot, and I was just like, what is going on? Okay. Get home, getting out the car, I felt it again. It's probably like a 20-minute drive from the ultrasound place to my house. So I was like, okay. All right, felt it again in the car. And then from the car into the house, I was on, like, right now I'm sitting on the futon. But I was literally right here in this spot, like in excruciating pain. And I had to call my midwife. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I had to breathe through it. I was like, hold on. You know, like, I was like pausing the conversation, like, hey, hold on. Okay. Like, I don't know what's going on. And she was like, maybe it's round ligament pain. I was like, I don't know, but I'll see, you know, if it stops. So she was like, just call me back if it, you know, if it gets worse. But by that time, I hadn't told her that it happened all the way through the car ride and all that. I didn't tell her that part. And then it clicked for me to call back and say, hey, this has been happening, you know. So she was like, you need to go in because this is not round ligament. Okay, that's where we were. Got to the ER and they hooked me up to these monitors. They took my urine, and one of the nurses, which rubbed me the wrong way, tried to say that I was dehydrated, and my pee was clear.
I was like, I am never gonna be dehydrated again, girl. You crazy.
But so pee was clear. Like, I'm talking about, it was like water. Like, that's how clear that pee was. And she talking about dehydration. Girl, please. Okay. Anyway, so I got my cervix checked. I got monitored for like 2 hours, and I got a pelvic exam to check for yeast, bacteria, or anything like that. This was my third time taking antibiotics because she found some She said she saw some discharge and she was saying that it was BV, bacterial vaginosis or vaginitis, whichever we want to call it. The nurse had told me, she was like, because I asked her, I was like, how many babies are being born today? Because I'm just being nosy because, you know, I'm talking to the people. And she was like, oh, we don't have any today, but we do have a lot of people who came in. A lot of ladies came in within 5 minutes of each other. You're all due around the same time. And I'm like,
what? Girl.
So when I talked to my midwife and told her, you know, gave her the update on what happened, she was like, oh, the barometric pressure changed. The what? Yeah, the atmosphere changes, pressure, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I went to Googling, and when pressure changes, it's almost like when people have titanium knees or joints issues where they can kind of sense when a storm is coming. Well, when the barometric pressure changes, they can feel that too. So they don't want to do the research, in my humble opinion. They don't want to do the research to see if the same thing happens to pregnant women. But I think that's what it was, because a few of us were in there around 20 weeks, like for the same issue. Come on. Anyway, 26 weeks. Jesus. I started to have, for like 3 days, I was having pain. My fibroid was giving me pain. Like, remember, I have that fibroid that I can see. I used to be able to see it, but now I can kind of feel it. It's like a bulge, like it's abnormal compared to my uterus. So I could feel it, and it was like painful. So I found out at my anatomy scan that my placenta isn't anterior or posterior, that it's like on the side of my uterus. So we didn't know which side it was on because they never gave that information in the ultrasound results. So my midwife was like, we don't know if this is your placenta, so we need to go to the ER and go to labor and delivery, basically, and let them check and see what's going on. And it turned out that it was fibroid pain. And once they told me that, I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. Like, as long as I know what it is, I think fear causes us to perceive pain more so than what it actually is. So as soon as they told me it was the fibroid and it was dying, the fibroid was dying, and that's what it was, I was like, I can take this pain. It ain't nothing. They want to give me pain, man. I'm good. I'm a G. Like, you told me it's what? Okay, I'm good. I can take this. And a few days later, the pain had went away. It diminished completely. I really realized that I can't eat dairy and I can't eat meat, because when I eat those, it causes pain. It causes it to become painful. And I'm thinking that,
I remember I was eating sour cream. I was eating cheese like crazy. Like, all that dairy I was intaking, I wasn't doing that at the beginning of my pregnancy. And around the time when the fibroids started causing problems is when I was just dairied out, like meat and just dairy.
And then later on in my pregnancy, I started to eat more meat, trying to get my protein intake up. And I was just eating a lot of dairy. Like, I ate a whole tub from Sam's Club of cottage cheese. Like, I was just eating a lot of dairy. And I think that had a lot to do with it. They also told me that I have a fibroid near my cervix. And they want to keep a lookout on it, because they want to make sure that it's not in the way when it comes to having a vaginal birth. And they also told me that the baby's cord is between its head and my cervix. So I'm believing in God that that's gonna all change. I've changed my diet because I have to do some work too. So I changed my diet, and I do not eat dairy. I don't eat dairy, and I don't eat meat. So I still get my protein from my beans, and I love my midwife, because every time I had an appointment with them, they made sure to see what I was eating and let me know what I needed to eat. That's something that you don't get when you have an OB. I am no longer able to have a home birth because I am considered high risk, and I have to go to maternal fetal medicine to get ultrasounds every month until the baby comes, to check on that fibroid and to check and see if that cord has moved, and I'm believing that cord is gone because babies move all the time. Last Friday, I had to go to labor and delivery again at the hospital where I will be giving birth, and I met the staff, some of the staff, and I'm sorry, y'all keep touching this. I can't help it. Anyway, I had to go to labor and delivery then because I was having like multiple Braxton Hicks, like back to back, and they say if you have 6 within an hour, then you need to go to labor and delivery. I was having like, it was just like all day, and I was like, I lost track of how many, so I was just like, let's go. So that was Thursday night where I kept having them, and then Friday morning, me and my husband got up and went to labor and delivery, and they could not find anything wrong with me at all. There was no reason, no bacteria, no yeast, no nothing. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm fully hydrated. Pee looks good, everything. And they gave me a shot of, I'll put it up there because I forgot how to say it. It starts with a T. And I'm sitting in bed. She gave me a shot. I do not like shots. I do not like blood draws. I don't like nothing. So for her to give me that shot, I was just like, okay, what is it? And they were like, the only side effect is usually, you know, you have your blood, I mean your blood pressure goes up just a little bit. You have a little jitter, and that's it.
Child, please.
For me, I'm sitting in the bed. My husband went to go get something to eat for us. Sitting in the bed, just chilling. And all of a sudden, the machines start going off, just beeping, beeping. I'm hooked up to the machines. Of course, they're monitoring the baby, monitoring uterine activity. And the machine's just going off. And I'm looking at the machine, and I see it hit 48. And I'm like, because of course, you know, they put the thing on your finger to monitor your heart rate. And I'm looking at the machine like, what is going on with this machine? Like, I'm just as calm, just sitting there looking at the machine like, what is going on? Mind you, I'm supposed to be doing my hair while I'm talking to y'all too. But I'm up here just talking. Anyway, I'm looking at the machine, and the machine has, it says 38 beats per minute, 48 beats per minute, 48 beats per minute for about 5 minutes. The nurse comes in. She's not my nurse, but she comes in because she hears all this beeping, and she's like, what's going on in here? And she comes, she's looking at the machine, and she's like, what's going on in here? I'm like, I don't know. What's wrong with these machines, girl? So she was just like, I don't know. And then she's pushing buttons. She left out. She came back in, and she was a little like, you know, I don't know. She just was in a hurry this time. I can't think of the word right now. Don't judge me. Anyway, she looked like, you know, something was wrong a little bit, but I wasn't worried about it. I was just like, okay, girl. So she came in there, and she put the stethoscope to my chest. She was a little old lady too, and she had to push. She was like pushing really hard. I'm just sitting there like, just like I'm sitting here right now. And she pushed it in my heart, and then she was like, let me turn the machine down. She turned the machine down, and then she got underneath my gown, and she was listening like hard. And then she called the other lady in later on. Like, she was just like, okay, I got your heart rate. And I think what she was doing was standing there to wait and see if my heart rate went back up, because it started to go back up and went 50s and 60s, and then went up in the 90s. And I was just sitting there like calm. It was a little shaky, but that was it. And I was just alert and everything. So my nurse came back after everything settled down. She was like, yeah, we can't give you that anymore because your heart rate dropped too low. That's going on the list of something you can get. And I was just like, okay, girl. She was like, I didn't want the other nurse to scare you. I told her, don't scare my patient. And I was just like, girl, y'all ain't scared me. I was just sitting here like, wasn't that real? Because I ain't feel no different. So that happened. Nothing was wrong with me. I did they did a fibronic swab to check and see if I was in preterm labor. I was not in preterm labor. I actually had a swab done for amniotic fluid, I think it was probably a little after 20 weeks. I was having a lot of fluid coming out, vaginal fluid. It turned out that it was just extra vaginal secretions. And my midwife, she swabbed me and checked me to see if it was amniotic fluid. My water had broken, but it hadn't. Ooh. Okay, so it's actually time for me to take this off. So all right. So that's pretty much what's been happening. All that stuff done happened to me, and I'm just over here like, ugh. I have so many ultrasound pictures. I didn't want this one especially. They gave me a 3D scan that I did not ask for. I wasn't upset, but I was just like, I ain't asked for that. Like, I told you we didn't want to know what we was having, so why you gonna give me a picture? But it just kind of makes me think like maybe it's a boy or maybe it's a girl, you know? And I didn't want to go through that. Y'all, I done tried to do this, the end of this video 3 times. I don't have time. I'm hungry. I want to tell y'all my cravings. I ain't got time. So, Pringles, on and off craving. Pickles, Publix subs. Pickles, not so much. Like, you know, I probably had 2 small jars of pickles. Like the jars that you, with the slices that you put on your sandwich. I like 2 of those since I've been pregnant. Chalupas cost too much. 2 chalupas and a taco is $8. I ain't got time for that. But you can get the chalupa crust for just the shell. You can get that for like 29 cents, and you can make your own, but it's still not gonna taste the same. And that's what helped me with that craving, because it don't taste the same. Cereal has been my biggest craving. I use almond milk, but I only drank the Sam's Club brand, and it was out of stock, so I gotta eat dry cereal if I want cereal, and I don't really care for dry cereal that much. McDonald's was a big craving. I was craving McDonald's from the beginning, and then when I was 13 weeks, I gave in to that craving, and I got a 10-piece nugget and a large fry. The fry was garbage, but after that craving, then it was just a egg McMuffin with cheese. Like no Canadian bacon, just the egg, the muffin, and the cheese. That was my craving. My husband was like, I can make that. I'm like,
no, you can't. There's no such thing. You can't make this egg like this.
But the cereal's been the worst, and I know that's my guilty pleasure, because the cereal has all the colors and dyes and stuff, and I'm just like, ugh, it's so bad. But I can eat a family size box from Sam's. It has 2 family size bags in it in like a week and a half. Oh, it's so good. Between Reese's Puffs, Fruity Pebbles, and Lucky Charms. What else? That's pretty much it. But I just wanted to give y'all this update, let y'all know how this pregnancy has been treating me, and then, you know, I'm so excited about this birth. I'm not afraid, and that's the biggest thing. People are like, you're not scared? No, not scared at all. I watched my mom give birth twice. I helped her labor 3 times. So that birth is not something I'm afraid of. I'm not anxious about it. I'm excited. I'm here for all the sensations. Like, I don't know. I'm just ready to meet my baby when they're supposed to come, not anytime soon. Stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching. You can share my videos with people, because I know somebody was waiting on me to do another video, because I talk about stuff that nobody knows about. Everybody's not like, you know, like me, how I just go researching stuff, and you know. So I'll see y'all later. Adios.